The world of classic science fiction has lost one of its most unforgettable stars with the passing of Anne Robinson at the age of 96. From her groundbreaking role in The War of the Worlds to her lasting influence on modern sci-fi cinema, Robinson became a symbol of emotional storytelling, resilience, and cinematic history. Today, we explore her remarkable journey, career challenges, artistic legacy, and the lessons her life continues to teach generations of film lovers. How did Anne Robinson begin her journey before Hollywood fame? Anne Robinson was born in Hollywood, California in 1929 and developed a love for horseback riding during childhood. Before becoming an actress, she worked as a stunt rider in low-budget films and westerns, gaining discipline and experience that later helped her survive the demanding studio system of classic Hollywood. How did she become famous through The War of the Worlds? Her breakthrough arrived when producer George Pal cast her as Sylvia Van Buren in the 1953 adaptation of The War of the Worlds. The movie became one of the defining science fiction films of the decade and transformed Robinson into a recognizable genre icon almost overnight. Why was her performance in the film technically impressive? Robinson had to react to invisible Martian machines, unfinished special effects, smoke, explosions, and empty spaces that would later be completed through optical effects. Her believable fear and emotional realism helped audiences accept the illusion of the alien invasion long before modern CGI existed. How did Sylvia Van Buren influence future science fiction heroines? Her portrayal introduced a more emotionally authentic science fiction heroine. Instead of being only a romantic side character, Sylvia represented ordinary civilians facing extraordinary terror. Her vulnerability, intelligence, and emotional realism became a model for many later science fiction heroines. Why did audiences connect so strongly with her character? Audiences identified with Sylvia because she reacted like a normal person trapped inside unimaginable destruction. During the Cold War era, her fear reflected real public anxieties about nuclear war and global catastrophe, making the story feel emotionally believable. How successful was the film after release? The War of the Worlds became a major cultural success and won the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. It helped elevate science fiction into mainstream Hollywood entertainment and permanently connected Robinson's image with classic alien invasion cinema. What happened to her career after the Paramount years? After her studio contract ended, Robinson successfully transitioned into television. She appeared in shows such as Perry Mason, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and Gilligan's Island, proving she could handle drama, suspense, and comedy outside the science fiction genre. Did she face typecasting during her career? Yes, many studios continued seeing her mainly as a science fiction actress after the success of The War of the Worlds. Although this limited some opportunities, Robinson eventually embraced her connection to the genre and built a lasting relationship with science fiction fans around the world. How did marriage affect her Hollywood momentum? In 1957, she married Mexican matador Jamie Bravo and moved to Mexico. Robinson later admitted that leaving Hollywood during an important stage of her career reduced her opportunities inside the studio system, although she continued working while raising her family. What criticisms did she face throughout her artistic career? Some modern critics described her acting style as theatrical compared to contemporary performances. Others believed she deserved stronger dramatic roles outside science fiction. However, many film historians defended her work, explaining that actors during the 1950s needed heightened emotional expression to support the era's limited special effects technology. How did she adapt to changes in Hollywood? As the studio era declined, Robinson diversified her career through voice work, television guest appearances, independent productions, and convention appearances. Her flexibility allowed her to remain active in entertainment long after many performers from her generation disappeared from public attention. Why was her return to the War of the Worlds franchise important? In the 1988 television continuation of War of the Worlds, Robinson returned in a role connected to her original character. This helped bridge two generations of fans and became one of the earliest examples of meaningful legacy casting in science fiction television. What did her later appearances symbolize for science fiction history? Her continued connection to the franchise symbolized the evolution of science fiction itself. Robinson became a living bridge between the practical effects era of the 1950s and the modern digital filmmaking age. How did Steven Spielberg honor Anne Robinson? When Spielberg directed War of the Worlds, he invited Robinson and her original co-star Jean Barry to appear in cameo roles. This tribute recognized Robinson as one of the foundational figures of alien invasion cinema and connected the original classic to the modern remake. How did science fiction filmmaking evolve across her career? Robinson witnessed the transition from practical effects such as miniatures, matte paintings, and optical compositing to modern CGI and digital filmmaking. Her career uniquely connected multiple eras of science fiction production history. Why did her popularity increase again during the 2020s? Classic science fiction experienced renewed appreciation through streaming services, restoration projects, nostalgia culture, and film scholarship. Robinson became increasingly celebrated as one of the final surviving icons of Golden Age science fiction cinema. What lessons can modern actors learn from her career? Her career demonstrates the importance of adaptability, resilience, and respecting one's audience. Robinson proved that genre roles can become timeless and that embracing a cinematic legacy can preserve relevance across generations. How did she influence women in science fiction cinema? Robinson helped establish women as emotionally complex central figures in science fiction storytelling during a male-dominated era. Her performance opened the door for future heroines who combined emotional realism with survival and intelligence. Why does Anne Robinson remain important in cinema history today? Anne Robinson remains a symbol of classic science fiction's emotional foundation and Hollywood's evolving history. Her work influenced generations of alien invasion stories and helped audiences emotionally believe in worlds created through imagination, fear, and cinematic innovation. What is the lasting legacy of Anne Robinson? Her legacy is defined by emotional authenticity, longevity, adaptability, and her permanent influence on science fiction cinema. From the Martian invasions of the 1950s to modern Hollywood tributes decades later, she remained one of the enduring faces of classic science fiction history. Finally, Anne Robinson's legacy extends far beyond a single science fiction film. She became one of the emotional foundations of classic alien invasion cinema and remained connected to the genre for more than half a century. Her journey reflected the evolution of Hollywood itself, from practical effects to modern digital filmmaking. Through talent, perseverance, and emotional authenticity, she secured a permanent place in cinema history. If you enjoyed this educational video, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more stories about legendary actors, classic films, and the hidden history of Hollywood.